Hello, beautiful people. We are back unexpectedly. But here we are. 2 in one day. I changed from a sweater to a hoodie. And then ding ding. Docket alert. We'll talk about Drake getting TP'd on stage in a minute. Hold your horses. I just saw that video. Good Lord Almighty. It's not nice to throw things at people when they're on stage. So, Diddy's lawyers just filed a response to the government's opposition for bail. I didn't even read it. I went directly to what an attachment. The attachment said endorsement letter or something, and so I was like, "Oh God, please let this be a letter from an actual person." And it is. It is a letter from victim 3, Virginia Huynh. I hope I got that right. Nope, I didn't. It's Hoen. Sorry. Virginia Hoen, mostly known by Gina. So Gina is victim number 3. She did not testify at trial, and there was a big hubbub about it. Right at the start of the trial, there was reporting out about some potential difficulty with a victim/witness and whether or not they were or were not going to testify. For some reason, Diddy's lawyers, publicly and on the record, but definitely to reporters, said, I don't know, it might be really difficult for them to get her to testify. Then the rumor mill started with a former Diddy bodyguard saying Diddy paid her $2 million and other things to not testify. We don't know if that's true, but we know that he was happy to go on air on a radio show or podcast or whatever and declare it with his whole chest that she was paid $2 million and would never testify against Diddy. She has popped up as the sole attached endorsement letter for Diddy to be released, which is surprising for one reason. It may be surprising to you for other reasons, but this is why it is surprising to me. And here we get into a little bit of nerd wonkiness on the case, but follow me, beloved, and hit the like button while you're at it. Shout out to everybody who's here, who's watching. In Diddy's lawyer's initial request for bail this time, they said there is nothing on the court record. Nobody testified to Diddy being abusive or having violent incidents in between this time and this time. And, there's only ever been 2 incidents on the court record, based on testimony and evidence, and And the prosecution came back with its rebuttal. We looked at that. We saw a section where things were redacted. And the government saying to the judge, you can absolutely consider these things that the court has knowledge of that were not testified to in court. We don't know what those things were because they were redacted. But interestingly enough, after the judge got those things, he put an order on the docket and asked the prosecution, the government, explain why you redacted this section from the public view if in the unredacted version that you gave me, you used pseudonyms, not people's real names. So just as an aside, they're going through what should be public, what should not be public, what's under pseudonym, what's under somebody's actual name. And then this pops up. This is unequivocally her identifying herself as victim 3. She has been presumed by the media to be victim 3. And this is her in a letter identifying herself to the court as victim 3. Oh, Lord. I'm keeping my opinion to myself. My name is Virginia Hoen, and I am writing as the person identified as victim 3 in this case. I have known Sean Combs for many years in both a personal and professional capacity. From that experience, I have seen him primarily as a father, a family man, and a businessman, roles that he has always striven to uphold. Sorry, just a second. Shout out to Brittany on the pre-order. I have known Sean Combs for many years in both personal and professional capacity. And just to remind you what she has said publicly about her relationship with Diddy, she went on to, the blue couch with that one awful lady, and said that Diddy beat the hell out of her, stomped on her stomach to the point that she couldn't breathe, pulled her hair, punched her in the back of the head, played psychological games with her in comparing her to Cassie, another victim of Diddy. And I say victim because he paid her $20 million and he admitted on camera that he beat her. So anyway, Gina says that Diddy beat the crap out of her on more than one occasion and played psychological games. And so, in both her personal and professional capacity, she says that from that experience, she has seen him primarily as a father, a family man, and a businessman, roles that he has always striven to uphold. I provide this letter to share my observations about his character and to respectfully request that the court permit his release on bond while the case proceeds. So, after running around and saying that he beat her, stomped on her till she couldn't breathe, would pull her hair, punch her in the back of the head, on and on and on and on and on for years and years and years and years and years. She refused to testify, allegedly, according to Diddy's former bodyguard who went public. She was paid $2 million in other incentives to not testify. And now, miraculously, here she is on the docket, identifying herself as victim number 3, to say that, from her personal and professional experience, she sees him primarily as a father, a family man, and a businessman, roles he has always striven to uphold. I provide this letter to share my observations, not her experiences, but her observations about his character and to respectfully request that the court permit his release on bond while the case proceeds. I acknowledge and respect that Mr. Combs stands accused and that the court must weigh public safety and the integrity of the legal process. Actually, he doesn't stand accused, he stands convicted, beloved, convicted. I acknowledge and respect that Mr. Combs stands accused and that the court must weigh public safety and the integrity of the legal process. At the same time, I believe it is important for the court to have a full picture of who he is beyond the allegations. Our relationship, like many, was not always perfect. We experienced ups and downs, and mistakes were made, but he was willing to acknowledge his mistakes and make better decisions in the future. Over the years that followed, he made visible efforts to become a better person and to address the harm he had caused. By the time our relationship ended, he embodied an energy of love, patience, and gentleness that was markedly different from his past behavior. To my knowledge, he has not been violent for many years, and he has been committed to being a father first. I am writing because I do not view Mr. Combs as a danger to me or to the community. This is his first criminal case. Throughout the investigation and proceedings, he has been cooperative, respectful, and compliant. The court has already found that that is not true. Princey has the zoomies. Throughout the investigation and proceedings, he has been cooperative, respectful, and compliant. He has substantial ties to his family and community, including children who depend on him for emotional and financial support. Granting him bond would allow him to continue caring for his family and fulfilling his responsibilities while still subject to the court's supervision. I want to assure the court that if released, I believe Mr. Combs will adhere to all conditions imposed and will not jeopardize his freedom or the well being of his family. Allowing him to be at home will also support the healing process for all involved. I respectfully ask that you consider these factors when deciding his eligibility for release. Thank you for your time and consideration. The stormiest cloud says it's not alleged. He's in jail for it. Tiffany Shantae, I can't be bothered. Furry Bee Productions. We forgetting that kettlebell, huh? Indeed. Indeed. Unapologetic. I have no words. I can think of a couple. The stormiest cloud. He literally smuggled shit into his cell he shouldn't have. All involved? How, Sway? How do you represent all the parties involved when you decisively kept your ass out of it? subpoenaed wouldn't testify. So since you, my name Bennett, I ain't edited, how are you gonna fix your fingers? Well, let's be clear. You didn't write this. To say that releasing him will support the healing of all involved. Who does this? Who does this? I do not view Mr. Combs as a danger to me or the community. Who the fuck is you? Who the fuck is you? You got the nerve to refuse a subpoena and then send a letter to the judge and say, I think you should let him out. He's been nothing but cooperative through this entire process. Little girl, have you lost your damn mind? I just want some people to have some goddamn fucking integrity and stop hoeing themselves. This is insulting to basic intelligence. This is an insult to basic ass intelligence. Hit the like button. Claudia says, I don't know what type of healing his release would bring, but I'd want none of it, to be honest. I mean, you must be joking. You have no integrity whatsoever. This is so desperate. It's truly pathetic. You got the nerve to go on a whole media run about how this man stomped on your stomach till you couldn't breathe and all of the horrible shit you went through with him. And then you let somebody assign your name wherein you say, he embodied an energy of love, patience, and gentleness. To my knowledge, well, you don't know a fucking thing, clearly. And you think the court is supposed to put your knowledge above its knowledge of his behavior? To my knowledge, he has not been violent for many years. And he has been committed to being a father first. Do y'all have a baby together? You co-parent? You're not friends. You said I used to fuck him and we worked together. You're not friends. How do you know if he's committed to being a father first? You don't. You want to talk about some hyperbolic bullshit? It's right here in this letter. It's fucking pathetic. Allegedly taking a $2 million payoff seems like a good enough reason to me. This letter is ridiculous. But breaking news, here it is. Victim number 3, Diddy's ex-girlfriend. I think he should get out. I think it'll all be fine. Me. As the Jets roar in for their goddamn show, let's get ready to clown Drake. Jesus Christ, they're throwing toilet paper at him on stage. I tried to tell you, sir. I tried to tell you. Good Lord. Even without he paid her $2 million, allegedly. Obviously there was something going on around her refusing to testify. So I'm side-eyeing you off that, just off top. You get the full side eye. But now you go pop up a couple months later and be like, this is the best man I've ever known, ever in the history of men in my whole life, ever. Ever. Oh my God, is that toilet paper? Now listen. We can all agree it is not okay to throw things at people on stage. They throwing toilet paper at this man. It's bad. It's not good. You don't do that. It's dangerous. It's toilet paper. They throwing toilet paper. They TPing this man while he's on stage. I was telling the Discord, I'm just trying to imagine, like, coming around the corner and my kid is standing in the bathroom at the closet just stuffing toilet paper into his bag, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing with my toilet paper? My good two-ply Charmin, what are you doing with my toilet paper?" "I'm going to the Drake concert, boy." "You better put my toilet paper back. You can stop at the Gas and Go on the way there, get 6 rolls of tissue paper, toilet paper for 99 cents. There's video. You can go search it. Soar, whole roll soars through the air. Multiple angles of video. Child, I tried to tell you, sir. People buy tickets for the spectacle. People buy tickets to be the spectacle. There's somebody at home on social media right now, scrolling through TikTok, looking for video of themselves taken by other people of just the toilet paper soaring through the air, and they're just so proud of themselves because they've made it. They've made it into the canon of the downfall. They are a part of it now. It's their legacy. How, Sway? How? Toilet paper? Toilet paper is expensive. I gotta really hate a nigga to sacrifice it to his face. No, I don't wanna see that. I don't wanna see that. I don't wanna see that because I am morally against throwing things at people on stage. And then you say some shit like this, and that is fucking hilarious. Want to see you push a P. Damn it. It's wrong. I can hear this one in my head. You need to leave. You need to leave. Yeah, you go get you some of that translucent half ply TP. You ain't taking my good TP to throw it at a piece of shit of a nigga. That's no. No. I mean, I'm gonna need to stop and think about some things for a minute. Shit. Charmin Ultra Strong? Imagine the 4-pack just flying out of the darkness, landing on stage. Oh, God. Because I am type A. I'm like, how'd they even get it into the venue? You can't get shit into our stadiums here. You can't get shit into these stadiums here. Not that I've tried. I'm just saying. You can't get shit into these stadiums here. Everything got to be in a clear bag. You can't just show up with a roll of toilet paper. They're going to be like, what's going on here, buddy? No way. Uh-uh. Imagine those Costco size packs of toilet paper. The crowd just surfing it till it gets to the front of the stage. You just see some white thing that the crowd is surfing in your direction. And it's rectangle, it's big. It's, oh my God, is that Kirkland brand toilet paper? Oh my God. Also expensive and really good quality, by the way. I'm not coming out of Kirkland roll of toilet paper neither. No, for Drake? No, I don't fucking think so. No. Aubrey said I'm not a piece of shit, audience. And we took that personally. He can't say nothing. He can't say nothing. Throwing Costco anything at somebody is a hate crime. That's a loss. I stand by Kirkland brand. I don't care. Toilet paper, paper towels, diapers, baby wipes, stand 10 toes down. Said what I said, what I said, what I said. You're not throwing my Kirkland brand toilet paper or my Charmin, and I am a Charmin gal, you know? This ass deserves the best. You know. No, 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 no. We could have a zombie apocalypse tomorrow. Where the toilet paper at? I don't think so. No, toilet paper is a precious commodity in this economy. That's why I said stop by the gas and go on your way there. Oh, here we go. Princey's like, God damn it. So Princey has actually seen the Jets before, like with his eyeballs, a couple times over the years. Has seen the Jets with his eyeballs. So he knows what they are. He knows exactly what they are. I mean, I don't know if he understands that they're airplanes, but still, he knows that there are things that fly very loud through the sky. Very loud, low. Like, I can see a pilot. If I went outside right now and waited for them to fly over, if they're banking, I can see a pilot. It's it's cool and terrifying. Furry Bee Productions says if he was able to keep his ticket prices up, this wouldn't have happened because only fans would go. When your tickets cost less than a 2-topping Domino's pizza, haters will say, "Why not? On the way to the bar? Yeah, let's stop in." Not less than a 2-topping Domino's pizza, dog. Damn. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the other thing is they're on the floor. Your tickets should not be that accessible, that close to the stage. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. Princey is such a smart cat. He knows generally exactly where to look. Let's see if he's a brave boy today. I'm not paying to hate. I'm not paying to do that. I'm not paying to do that. I'm not doing that. Because there's also you got to get down there. There's other people, and the crowd. I don't want to deal with all that. But forking over my hard-earned money and my mama's good toilet paper is not worth the ass whooping when I get home at the end of the night. No, no. And then there's this boy. People are just smacking Drake in the head over this one. I don't want a karaoke show. I sing one song, you sing three while I dance. Dance. Drake ain't ever met a choreographer in his life. He was on his way to Groupon pricing in Australia. 2 tickets for $18 and a drink stub. Groupon, nigga. That's a fancy Groupon. 2 tickets for $18. Bruh. Oh my God. TQ. That boy couldn't pay for rhythm. Ooh. Mm, 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 mm. I'm more upset for the guy that had to pick it up, the Lily Lips. I'm more upset for the guy that had to pick it up. Yeah, somebody got to walk out there because he can't do it. Well, that went fast. You okay? I let y'all hear that one. That was low and that was fast. Lots of car alarms are going off right now. A Shifting of Fate says, I've seen C tier new artists for more than that. Josh Johnson was more than that. Artists y'all have never heard of is more than that. Yep. Yep. That's when we want to fill the seats so that he shows up and doesn't cancel altogether. And cost, oh, here we go again. Oh, that one's kind of over there a little bit. The other one was directly over the house. I felt that one in my body. Princey did too, but he didn't all the way run away. He got up, but he's still down here. He's being a brave boy this year. Claudia, he got white people dancing jeans. Storm cloud. 4 tickets for $20 and 3 packs of bubble gum. Not the bubble gum. Not the bubble gum. Mickey D's or Drake Ticks? I'm going for the 10-piece. You can get 2 10-piece meals or a Drake ticket. You can get 1 and a pre-roll or a Drake ticket. Ooh, that's a cold hustle. TQ. Oh, wait. Where to go? There it is. Josh Theodore. Drake's show is selling 2 tickets and a pair of dice. Ooh, child. Actually on brand, though. That would be on brand. Little steak dice, but they're not that thoughtful in their promo. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not Charmin Poppy. Not the Charmin Poppy. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Pre-roll. Furry Breeze Productions said, I'm going for the pre-roll, and then I got the munchies. Let's go get that 10-piece meal. Let's go get that 10-piece meal. Charmin, old man. Aubrey is sick of us. Oh, God. I tell you. I didn't believe it at first. And they were like, they throwing toilet paper at this man on stage. And then also, he's in such a big venue. There's so many people seeing you have toilet paper thrown at you live in front of everybody. Like, first of all, I'm really picky with my concerts. So I'm just like, you wouldn't get out of a Beyonce concert alive if you fixed your fucking fingers to throw a roll of toilet paper at her on stage. You wouldn't make it out. You would not make it out. Go to a Kendrick concert, throw some fucking toilet paper on stage. You're not making it out. You're not making it out. I told y'all. Waist trainer. Every morning, his morning mantras. I am not a piece of shit. I am not a snake. Every day he unclips it. Every morning. I'm a good person. Yeah. Oh. And again, I am 1000% against throwing things at people on stage. Throwing a water bottle at somebody on stage is dangerous. A water bottle will kill you in a car accident. Fuck around and find out. Okay, throwing shit at people is not a good idea. Period. Point blank. So I'm against that flat out. But god damn it, they're throwing toilet paper at this man. They're paying for floor seats to throw toilet paper at this man. There's if you are not standing next to me and throwing a roll of toilet paper at Beyonce, I'm gonna snatch you up. We're gonna have an altercation. Bitch, have you lost your mind? She did it right here. Come get her, dusty ass. You trying to put me in danger? Because they're all turning in our direction and coming for you. They're coming for whoever it is. Oh, I'm looking at you all the way. So I'm getting loud. I'm letting everybody know it was her. It was her. It was her. Come get her. Kick you. Kick you right at the back of your knee so you buckle a little bit so you can't run. Yeah. Yeah, there's video in the Discord, babes. In this economy? Love that Bling says the toilet paper probably costs more than the floor seats. In this economy? Yeah. Yeah, this is me in the water. I hope you can swim. You lost your damn mind. No, no, I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot, damn it. Nah, man. Nah, nah, nah. You're not about to be standing next to me doing that dumb shit. Oh, here we go again. This might be the longest that Princey has stayed out ever. Usually, he goes and hides underneath my bed. But every time one of them flies close or over, he just looks at the window. He just looks at the window. He also has a hiding space down here, and he's inching ever closer to it, the under the stairs place. So he might go back there and hang out. But he's pretty chill. I'm proud of him being a brave boy today. Mimi Angel. Someone on Twitter said, not Drake dodging more hits than he's making. Oh my God. Kiki says, it looked like he didn't even see it and security swiped it and didn't say anything. They didn't want him to get his feelings hurt. Yeah. Yeah. Let's save that meltdown until after the show behind closed doors when he goes, what was that? Or when he finds out Drake TP'd on stage is trending. but nevertheless, meltdown behind closed doors because oh my God. This is facts. You would have got launched into the bay. Same here. You would have got launched into Puget Sound. We also on the water with ours. You would have got launched straight up into that motherfucker. You just threw toilet paper. Are you psychotic? Are you psychotic? Are you psychotic? Because who's coming back to a city that threw toilet paper on stage? Nah, you about to get fucked all the way up. You about to get fucked all the way. You trying to ruin it for everybody? Nah, man. Nah, man. Nah. You're not making out of the stadium unscathed. No, there's going to be some scathedness happening. You're definitely getting scathed. Me too. And we are cackling about it. I can be conflicting and contradictory. I definitely had some, oh God, that is so awful. I feel so bad for him because he's a sensitive little boy. And there have been times throughout this whole ordeal where I have said out loud to y'all and also just to myself, like, I just need Drake to stay alive, you know? Just stay alive. Take the ass whipping you deserve. Princey thought about he started to move to jump out of his hammock and he was just staring at the window. And when he didn't see anything, because he can also see the reflection. Well, the blinds aren't up, so I'm not quite sure exactly if he knows that he can't see the reflection of the planes in the next building over because the blinds are down. If he were closer, he'd have the vantage point. So he keeps looking at the blinds. He's all tucked in. Well, I mean, just because I want to make sure my boy's okay, you know, I want to make sure he's okay. He's trying really hard to be a brave boy, and he keeps looking at me too, like, well, she's not panicked. She never panics when this happens. I'm trying to give him good, you know, you can do it. You don't have to be a victim for people to have empathy. You don't have to be a victim for people to have empathy. And I can have empathy because again, I'm anti throwing things on stage. I think that's bad. And I think it is potentially extremely cruel to spend money. Goes from bad to cruel, to just being cruel to somebody. To go and spend money and take your mama good toilet paper to humiliate another person is, you know, we could get into that if we wanted to, but I don't want to. I'm just acknowledging it as a reality, and I choose the side of Petty Betty today. I choose the side of Petty Betty today. We're roasting that nigga, that good, upstanding man. Is it Diddy or is it Drake? Good, upstanding man puts fatherhood first. Tomorrow. But they're definitely not going to let those into the stadium. So somebody said, okay, toilet paper then, nigga. I'm going to make it do what it do. I'm going to make it do what it do. He's a man with morals. Whether you've smuggled it in or you stole it from the bathroom, leaving somebody in the lurch, you know, leaving several somebodies in the lurch, just whole thing gone. Industrial roll just gone out of the bathroom. Rude. At a concert? Oh, that's so rude. Uh, uh, also makes it kind of extra gross. I don't want to touch it. I'm gonna be gloved up if I work for Drake. Always. Always. I'm gonna need my PPE 24/7. I need eye coverage. I need gloves. I need a splash guard. Yeah. I'm not trusting these folks out here. They don't like you. They don't like you. They throw things at you, which means they throw things at me. I don't want to do that. Nigga got a standing ovation in Toronto while people were already standing. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you have the greatest show in the history of Toronto ever. Stealing some random bathroom stall's toilet paper to throw it at an artist is doing too much. I mean, Imma need you to calm down. Imma need you to calm down, go home, and do something better with your time. Drake. Why not? You know, SZA got the onstage rain suit, just give me the hazmat. Yeah, yeah, just give me a full hazmat, I'm good. That's such a good movie. The Blob remains one of my all-time favorite movies of my whole life. It's one of my earliest movie-related memories is The Blob. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss on that absurd ass movie. Wouldn't change a single frame or line for that matter. The dialogue? Shakespearean. I thought they were supposed to be your friends, buddy. I thought you were in I thought this was what did I say a long ass time ago? I said this man needs to go to Asia. They don't manners, decorum, couth, all that. Dignity, all that. They're not throwing toilet paper at you on stage. It's so good. The Blob is so good. But yeah, I said the resurgence needs to happen in Asia because they're too polite to disgrace themselves to clown you. I thought you said you was the one putting motherfuckers on in Asia. So how come you didn't go there? He should have gone there. He should not have gone to Australia and then which I know is technically a part of Asia. Leave me alone. Um and then Europe. He should have gone to Japan. And Attack of the Killer Ants or whatever it's called, another one. Oh, with the giant oh my god. I was riveted in front of the television as a child, absolutely riveted. Ugh, this is what I'm saying. He said he's big in Japan. Where's the Japan stop, bro? He couldn't get booked in Japan for none. Mm, 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 mm. Right in time for Christmas too. Right in time for Christmas, Australia's gonna get some good shows, more than one, if I recall. It's gonna be a couple shows, which is great, which is great. Mm, mm, mm. It was properly terrifying. I don't remember how old I was. I would say it, The Blob. There's another movie, it'll come to me at some point in time that I was born in the '70s and was based so I was an '80s kid and I had older siblings, so I saw a bunch of stuff that I should not have seen. Classic example, Porky's. That's a classic example of something the whole family sat down to watch with a straight face, all ages, all generations. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Oh my god, that movie's so raunchy. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, that's a terrible memory. Watched it with a stomach bug and got sick. Ugh. No, the one that I'm thinking of is a hitchhiker dude that was cutting off people's heads, but I can't remember. It could have been called that. It was the '80s. Movie titles were pretty simple. But the Blob was yeah, that was a special movie because it's so absurd, you know? But I was God knows how young when I saw it, so I was properly like, "What the fuck?" I just remember that. I just remember the properly be and we spent a lot of time out in nature, on beaches and things like that, at various lakes, you know? So for me, it was like, "Okay, wait a minute though," you know? Yeah, like, one of my grandmas lived on a lake, so, yeah, I had, like, real world context to place the Blob, and the ants for that matter. If it's old, it might have been that one. It might have been that one. I remember seeing a head get chopped off and just being nauseated and being shocked because it looks so real, but I was well under age 10. Well under age 10. Probably. I feel like I saw The Blob, Attack of the Killer Ants, the Hitchhiker movie, probably between the ages of and then, of course, there's Alien and Aliens. I saw those movies between the ages of 5 and 8, probably. Yeah, the '80s, older siblings, recipe for you're gonna see a bunch of stuff that you normally would not see. This one, what yeah, yeah, really WTF, mind fuck. So, yeah, saw this one too. It was very stressful. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of campy horror. I think the first time I saw a proper, like I think this is it. I think it was Silence of the Lambs, and I saw it in the theater. And I think it was because I was in trouble, believe it or not. It wasn't a punishment. Let me be clear. Seeing the movie was not a punishment. The people that raised me were going to see the movie together, and I'm pretty sure that I was in trouble, and I wasn't allowed to, like, be at home by myself or something, and everybody else was gone, and they were like, "Well, you're coming, and we're not changing the movie." And I saw Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. Oh god. But I mean, I saw everything that came out when it came out or when it, became available on VHS because I had a older sibling, so I saw Candyman, I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, I saw fucking Predator. Um, Aliens, as I've said many, 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 many times, Aliens might be my favorite movie of all time. It's definitely the movie that I've seen the most. Um, yeah, it's definitely the movie that I've seen the most. I would wager that I've seen Aliens over 500 times. So, yeah. I didn't like any horror. I didn't begin to actually like horror until I had, like, exceptions, like Aliens, because it imprinted the trauma so at such an early age. And I just Sigourney Weaver is such a badass. I think I was probably, about the age of or younger than the little girl that's in Aliens the first time I saw it. So there were a lot of things that were just like, "Whoa," in a kind of, like, identifiable kind of way. And yeah, Sigourney Weaver just captivated me from, you know, her first scene. I was like, "That's a badass." That's a badass woman right there. She hadn't even done anything yet. Um, but I don't think I really started to appreciate horror and really start to then go back and dive into horror was when Get Out came out. Here they go. They're doing the one after the other over very slow. 1, 2, that was number 3. Oh, that one was close. Ooh, that was a lot of planes. I can hear all the neighbors chattering. They were down low, very close and very slow. Yeah, no, I thought about going outside and getting video, but obviously not. I'm here with y'all. I'm here with y'all. This is the first year that I haven't even put eyes on them. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, I slept through most of the show. That has never happened before. But I actually slept through. I was aware that they were out there, but I had pretty much dedicated my brain, like, go to sleep. And I took a nap. Yeah, so when Get Out came out, my son and I, at one point in time in the movie theater, got out of our seats, went to the back of the theater, and were pacing back and forth. We couldn't sit, and we were not the only people that got up out of their seats, went to the back of the theater to pace back and forth while watching the movie. And it just sent me down a rabbit hole of actually, I do like horror. I like good horror. I like good writing. There is some campy horror that I like. I don't like just flat out gruesome horror for the sake of being gruesome horror. So I don't watch that kind of stuff. Um, but horror, sci-fi, and thrillers, I would say, are my top 3 genres of movie. I like a good thriller written really well. Sci-fi, probably my top genre. Yeah, and then horror and thrillers might be tied for 2nd place. Yeah. And then drama and then comedy. I love sci-fi. I love sci-fi and I love bad sci-fi. Oh my god. I love a good, bad sci-fi, nonsensical. It just doesn't make sense at all. Don't let it involve the moon and something has happened to the moon and people are just down on Earth coming up with a plan. No, we're already dead. Something happens to the moon, y'all. It's over, okay? Oh god, bad sci-fi is so slept on. I love it so much. I love it so much. I just watched, I wonder if it'll pop up for me. I just watched not too long ago on YouTube Movies because they have just the worst. Let me see if I damn. I thought it would pop up. It's somewhere. It's probably on the TV where it just naturally pops up even though I've already watched it. Let me see if it pops up here. I can't remember what it's called, but it stars one of the Baldwin brothers, and he's a demolitions expert, and they need him to go to the moon. I can't remember what it's called, but it is this one. I was like, guys, I think I found the dumbest fucking movie. I can't find it. It's not popping up naturally. I was like, I think I found it. I think I found the stupidest fucking movie ever. Definitely. Tremors is another classic. I might need to watch this. This show is annoying. I've already had my rants on this channel about From. It is annoying. Oh my gosh, somebody said it. Here it is. Earthstorm. Oh my god, this movie is so bad. It is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. For me to watch it and before I'm like a quarter, not even a quarter in, and I'm like, oh my god, I think this is the worst bad sci-fi movie that I've ever seen. And I search for them. Okay. I really do seek out. I have to be in a particular mood, but I do. Some people like to watch stupid slapstick comedy to get their laughs. I go and look for, a really good bad sci-fi movie. That's how I get my cackles. And Earthstorm is hilarious. Yes, I can't even remember what happened to the moon, but it has resulted in a fissure. And they decide that they need him to collapse the fissure. So they need him to explode some shit. And it is so absurd because again, I just need to be clear that if anything happens to the moon, such as to change its mass or move it, we're dead. We're not down here coming up with a plan of how to figure it out. We're already dead. So, yep. Yes, definitely. I mean, better than worse than? Yes. 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 Yes, yes, yes. I love you too, beautiful. Yeah, we're so dead. We're so dead. Okay, we're so dead. It's just that's it. It's over. Those are going to be the last announcements. Announcements are we're dead. But yeah, bad sci-fi. I love it so much. It makes me so happy. I just enjoy it so much. I enjoy thinking, I enjoy the meta thought process as well, you know? The set design, they meant it when they did it. The costuming, hair and makeup, those were dedicated decisions. They went through a couple different iterations before they landed on the one they liked the most. Yep. Oh, I love it so much. Oh god. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I love it whenever I see a black kid with a hat on sideways. I'm like, "Oh, look at them hipping up the movie." Oh god, look at them hipping up the movie. So bad. So bad. Oh god. Yeah. Oh, this is me, bro. This is me. I'm sat. Popcorn, all the snackies. How are we doing it? What's the plan? I'm in. I'll get my notepad and take notes. I love this pseudoscience. How we doing it? What we doing? Mm-hmm. Let's just move it out of the way. Let's do it, fam. Let's do it. Oh god. I just need people to understand. If something collides with the moon and, moves it or takes a chunk out of it, we're dead. We're dead in seconds to hours, we're dead. I told you? I told you? A Baldwin brother? I couldn't even remember which one. Not even Billy, you get Alec. Oh my god. Oh my god. They said, "Well, he looks blue collar. We'll make him ooh, demolitions expert." Yes. 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 Mhm. Oh, jeez. Oh, there are angry drivers on the street over because here they come. They're all blaring their horns. That's mature. This is the fun part about being the epicenter neighborhood for a fucking air show. I think I think all sci-fi movies are earnest. It's just how much do they where are they leaning their earnestness into? Is it the science half of it or is it the fiction half of it? You know? Yeah. I mean, that one movie that, Halle Berry did recently, Moonfall, is that what it was called? That shit is hilarious. It is uproarious laughter came out of my body watching that movie, okay? Okay? I almost tinkled on myself at the point that, spoiler alert, her and one other person oh boy, we're gonna switch to this topic in just a second. I love this. Her and one other person launched themselves in a spacecraft. Nobody else is in mission control. Two people on the ship, one person on the ground. We got this. Almost tinkled on myself. It was so good. Hello, beautiful. We are deciphered as a question. How did y'all survive having toddler children? One day at a time. Yeah, one day at a time, you know? Toddlers will bring you to your knees, make you question everything you thought you knew about yourself, the world, children, anything, everything. Yeah. Yeah. They are little dictators and at times emotional terrorists. Yeah. 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 And then there's prayer. You savor good moments and try to keep them alive. Ah. This parenthood stuff is not for the weak. My daughter is on a mission to make me a better person. Oh, yes. Get fortified. Get fortified. Yeah. 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 You don't realize where you're weak until they hit you there for the first time. And you think to yourself, I've gone 35 years not knowing that I had a weak spot there. And then here comes this little angel. They got me one good time right there, and oh my God, they could take me out. They could take me all the way out. Yes, yes, yes. Uh, breathing, breathing definitely got me through some things. Um, controlled failure. Yes. Controlled failure is also very important. Like if you go fall, pick your spots beforehand. That's important. Controlled failure. That's an important one. If you gonna fall, pick your spots beforehand. It helps. She will be 3 in November, and she is trying me more and more. And she's the sweetest little angel until she decides not to be. Yes, yes, yes. There is a little bit of dual personality happening there for the babies. Yes, yes. Every day is a new version of the serenity prayer. And that is true because when you have a toddler, what worked 5 minutes ago might not work 5 minutes from now. What worked yesterday definitely not going to work today, but don't forget about it cuz it could work tomorrow. You know? Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. And yeah, have a sense of humor. Uh Make sure you have debrief time with your spouse or other fathers who are going through or have been through the same thing so that you can be like, "What the hell?" You know? That is important. I think honestly, I think one of the keys to getting through those years is at the end of the day, if you can, you have to have genuinely laughed about something because it switches up your energy in your body, the hormones and chemicals moving through your body, and that helps you reset to the next day. It really does. It whether you fully realize it or not, it really does. If you're not able to switch up that energy at some point in time during the day, then it does just feel like a day after day onslaught. So you have to find when you can, if not every day, every 2 days, and then double the time, something that you can really switch your energy on and just laugh about. Even if it's silly, stupid, ridiculous. scene out of a movie that always makes you crack up, rap that always makes you crack up, skit from a stand-up comedian that you really like that you can watch and it makes you just crack up. That energy switch is really important. And I do want to say, like, a shifty of fate says, under 7, they don't know better. I'm gonna pause you there. I'm gonna come back to that, okay? 7 to 12, 14-ish, depending on the child, they should know better, but just haven't thought that far ahead. 14 plus, it is a mixed bag of not punching them in the face. So under age 7, they don't know any better, and they're not malicious, but they are learning you too. And so there are times where you do have to switch up your reaction because they have figured something out. They have figured out a button, and it might be humorous to them, and this is the part of that they don't know any better. So it's funny to them, but you're like, "This baby's gonna make me cry in a second." You're gonna have to switch up your so that they don't go, "Oh, oh, daddy has buttons? What other buttons does daddy have? No, 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 no." I'm gonna close a window right quick because my neighbor is being quite loud. One moment. I know it's unfortunate, but it's true. It's true. And it's not malicious. They're just learning, and they don't have the vocabulary, they don't have the understanding of what they're doing is good or bad. Um, but they're able to put it together that, "Oh, I did something and it caused them to do something." So, yeah. But they are little irrational little dictators. They're irrational little dictators. They change their minds on a whim about anything. And, it's easy for me to say now, but what a confusing, frustrating situation to be in, being a child, especially a little child, when you're developing your language and learning the world and learning the rules and learning all of these things, and like I can't even imagine. And the exponential growth and change that happens within them on a daily basis is just like, of course they're crazy. Of course they are. Manipulative munchkins for sure. Yes, it is. Hasn't moved an inch. Very happy with it. Absolutely. That's the other thing. If you can and you have support or a babysitter or family, that's the other thing. Get away from them for a little bit when you can. 'Cause, yeah, it's a lot, and it's draining, and they really just live life at their own pace and whim, and it's none of it is logical. It's all emotion-based for them. Everything is emotion-based for them. So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, I would not that's one point in time where I would not wanna go back. I don't need to relive none of that. Oh, yeah, it's really hard. But you know what's crazy is and I know you've had people say this to you before, and I'm just another person saying it, but it is true what they say, like, cherish it, cherish it, because nothing prepares you for when they go. Nothing prepares you for when they go, for when they finally say, "All right, I'm out." The change in the relationship, that relationship that you have with them while they're under your roof is a chapter you can never, ever as trilogy that you can never, ever, 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 ever get back. So, that's not always gonna get you through the tough points, probably not gonna get you through any of the tough points, but I, I wish I would have understood that a little bit more as I was raising my kids. Like, you get it in theory, but I don't think I had even tried to, like, visualize what that could even be like to try and get some sense of it, to internalize it, to, like, prepare myself. I didn't even try and go there with it. But, yeah, you're just, you learn to juggle. Try this thing today, it didn't work. Try this thing, try this thing. Yeah, yeah. But the good thing is, you said 3 in November? I bet by 3.5, 4, she's gonna have exceptional vocabulary skills. Um, yeah, yeah. And your son is 6, so even better. Yeah, by 3.5, she's probably 3.5, 3 and 3 3 3/4, she's gonna be able to verbalize what it is that she needs to say. That'll help. I mean, you're almost at a 2, and if it peaks and then it goes back down. So, at the point where you really feel like, "Oh my god." Oh my god, that means it's actually almost over, this wave of this behavior, because as she develops new skills and understanding, and all of those things are developing at the same time, then she doesn't have to do the behaviors that she was doing before, because she has other things. So, it's also for you as a parent to be transitioning those things, to be languaging and reflecting those things verbally, whatever the situation is. She didn't like her macaroni and cheese because whatever. You know what I mean? The ketchup touched it or whatever. Um, just reflecting that verbally back. And then also introducing your own feelings to it. Like, yeah, I feel that. I didn't like it when da 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 da. Because it's also important to teach your kids that you are a human being with feelings as well, and that you have frustration in the world as well that is relatable to their frustration or their um whatever it is, not listening, like whatever the thing is. um it's ultimately serving a communication purpose. Ultimately it's serving a communication purpose between from them to you. So now I'm just babbling. Kiki comes in with the look. If you can get a kid to preschool without swallowing marbles or drinking Lysol, they'll be good. Yeah. Yeah, don't forget that they love as hard as you, if not more. Yeah. Peace and blessings to you and yours. My cousin who used to live with me used to eat paper, and now she's a mom graduating nursing school, you know? If you can get through the tough times, it's all good. It's all good. The other thing that I would say we are deciphered is, um, if you have a really good pediatrician, this channel already knows that I was fortunate to have a really good pediatrician for my kids who, in a sense, very much so because he was at one point in time, he was pediatrician for all of my children, but he was the pediatrician for my son who had cancer. So in a large sense, he took care of my whole family through that situation. Um, but if you do have a pediatrician who you trust when your child is doing their well checks and all of that, um, having talking about parenting is a good thing if you have that relationship, if you have that kind of pediatrician. I found it more helpful than I ever knew that it could be because I didn't see the people who raised me do that, but I saw another family member who I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and has 5 boys who are now men, um, whose pediatrician was my child's pediatrician. This was how I learned it. Um, I found in those conversations, they weren't about behavior and, like, there's something wrong with my child or they're doing this thing. It was really so that they could remind me what's going on in their brain right now and what is helpful to them in communicating and reflecting with them, whatever it is that they're going through or the behavior or whatever the thing is. I wanna wear one shoe and one boot, I mean, these little terrorists come up with all kinds of conundrums. We're going to church. One shoe, one boot. I don't know. It's rough. It's rough. Apple scented hand sanitizer. I don't know. Kids be doing the most. And then why? Why are you making the hand sanitizer? Fucking cinnamon apple scented. Unhelpful. Mm, mm, mm. I'm glad that you have this. I'm glad that you have this. Yeah. Yeah. So when you can be there, when both parents can be there at those appointments, I think that's always a good thing. Because good reminders. Because there's be sometimes where I just be like, tell me what's going on, because I don't have the foggiest idea of what to do. Remind me what I need to know. And so it's like, the whole dressing them thing and them wanting to dress themselves is like the quickest shortcut is pick out 3 outfits and 3 pairs of shoes that you can deal with in any combination, whether they match or they don't match. This is a controlled fall. This is an example of a controlled fail as a parent. Let her pick. That's what she's wearing. That's what she's wearing. She didn't get to pick from whatever out of these are your options. So she has choices. And then house shoes, no, we don't get germs on those. There's germies outside. There's a wonderful video online about teaching little kids about germies. At some point in time, she could watch that. She could be like, "Oh, germ. Oh, yeah, we don't want to bring those in the house." And then here are your controlled choices of and every day, and you just let go of the what you can and cannot wear fight, because there's 3 things out, and there you go. That yeah, they're good with that. I wanna wear that. No, I don't want to take 'em off. And who wants to take off their house shoes? I feel her. Don't you feel her? Again, validate. Reflect back. Girl, I don't want to go neither. Yes, house shoes are very comfortable. Toes in there all warm. Probably got the little memory foam insoles for cutesy little toesies. Yes. Yes. Inner little jammies. Don't nobody want to go, child. We all got to put on hard bottom shoes and go. Yeah. Yeah. They want control. So you just create the parameters of what can you live with? What are the options that you can live with as a parent? What are the combinations of things that you can live with as a parent? Mhm. And then also, you do know that some things have to disappear overnight, right? Okay? Some things have to disappear overnight, and quiet as kept, that might happen to you for the entirety that you live in my house. I don't care how old you are. Some got lost in the laundry. I don't know where it went. Oh, nope, I haven't seen it. Mystery. Mystery of the ages. Let me know when you find it. What? Oh, yeah, 'cause this ain't gonna affect you none. Right shoe on the wrong foot. Some things we can't teach them, they need their peers to teach them. Mhm, They need another adult who's like, "Girl, your shoe's on the wrong foot." "No." She switches him back over. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let 'em have that, you know? Let them have that. Pack the backup sensible outfit in the backpack. Let the teacher know the real clothes are in the backpack. She said that that's what she was wearing, but there's another outfit in the backpack. Yeah. Mhm. Yep. So it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of repeating yourself. And, you know, I didn't figure out until after I had children that I absolutely detest repeating myself. I don't know why I picked any of the jobs that I picked. I don't know why I had children because, yeah, requirement number 1 is patiently repeating yourself like you didn't already explain it yesterday. You gotta explain it at least 7 times before you can say, "I know you know this. I've told you." You tell me why. Because that's right, you know why. Hmm. Yeah. 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 Well, there's school associates and then there's friends. Yeah, there's school associates and then there's friends. My kids never tried to kick it with a school associate or invite a school associate over. I was very lucky in that way. That by the time it got to that age, they had gotten the message. Um, yeah, it's rough. That is definitely this one of the scary points of being a parent is when your kids start going to school with other people's children. And children don't have adults' discernment. A lot of children have discernment for adults, but not necessarily right away with each other. Some kids have discernment 360, where they're reading you regardless of your age. And you've got kids that can discern adults' energy really well, but don't necessarily have that same level of discernment with their peers. Um, and it can take time to develop, you know? It takes time, it takes constant conversation with them that you have to apply in an age appropriate, roundabout, strategically timed way, you know? Yeah, yeah. I figured as much. Child, this is the truest reality. Not everybody has the same nobody does. Nobody has the same home training, and it's so devastating. My brother ordered some shoes for my niece, and they were mismatched shoes, but she fell in love with them, so instead of getting a refund for both of the same shoes, she kept them. I think that's adorable. I really do. Some have not. Some have not. I remember this with my son and my daughter, actually, when they started being allowed to go over to school friends' houses, and both of them distinctly had the experience of coming home and being like, "Such and such doesn't have a bed." And then that realization that not all kids have beds was really jarring to both of them individually, and they're 5 years apart. So, was really jarring to them, like, not every kid has a bed? I thought that was just a given, that every child would have a bed. So, yeah. This is why being a present parent really matters, because you want a relationship with your young children that is not, and I've said this before, my kids have never been, will never be, never were my friend, and I never tried to be their friend, but we had a relationship that was conversational so that, you know, they could tell me anything. And so they would tell me about their friends or dynamics at school between different kids or kids they don't like and why they don't like them. And I basically made sure that I stayed up on who it was that they were telling me about, so that when something would happen and I would basically seize the moment to very subtly and again conversationally try and make it a aha moment for them. Not like a lecture teachable moment, but a like, see if we can put some things together so that they start to develop a perception about the kids around them, who's nice, who's good, who's caring. And then they would weed people out basically just on their own based on that alone, just starting to develop that discernment. But it was them having somebody around to talk to them about them recognizing that a kid did something at school that was funny and got a lot of laughs, but it made another kid who I think is cool cry. So was it really funny? Was it, what do I do in that situation? What do I like? Those are precious moments because that is a livable moment where you are helping them to define and shape their own character. And I lived for those moments. Don't come home wanting to tell me something that happened at school. What time of day was it? Where were y'all? I want all the details. Who wore what? I'm sitting, let me get us some snacks. Tell me every detail. So, baby, you are responsible for your triggers. And if you feel like you're being triggered, then you should go. I respectfully and lovingly don't know enough about you to advise you on that. But if you need to go, I respect that. I respect that. Yeah, and I'm adopted, and I wasn't adopted when I was an infant. So I remember my birth mother. I remember foster homes. I remember the first time I met each of my adoptive parents. And then I wound up back in foster care. So I definitely knew that. And then again, I was coming into a home where they already had biological children. So I was seeing from my situation to what it's like to be somebody's actual child from birth and what your room looks like, and you don't have to fit your stuff into a little suitcase and go from place to place. So but it also never occurred to me that when my kids would go over to their friends' houses, that they would then see and recognize those kinds of stark differences. But the no bed thing really rattled both of my kids when they experienced it. Like, no bed, pillows on the floor, and shares the room with 3 other people, and et cetera, and it was just like, "Yeah?" And that really, I think, probably was a defining moment in their little lives. Um, yeah, a defining moment of awareness, and also probably compassion, because there have been plenty of times where one of my kids would tell me about an asshole at school and then would be like, "Well, his dad is an alcoholic piece of shit, and his mom came up to the school last week screaming in his face, so I see why he's a dick." You know what I mean? And what can you say to that except, "Okay, yeah," it's like, I appreciate my child having an awareness, a compassion, you know, a perspective on the situation. And they develop that, but we cultivate it for sure. And everything age appropriate, but whatever your child sees and comments on, you have to address age appropriately, and just don't lie to them. When they see a houseless person and they say something, age appropriately, give them an answer, you know? They can handle it. When they see something and they remark on something, they've already clocked it. It's your job to give them the truthful, age appropriate context of it. And it becomes the beginning of a lifelong conversation on a topic that does impact them, because it impacts our society, and because they will go to school with children who are homeless. So that's just one of many, 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 many examples that I can think of. That's just life. That's just life. You got a kid in the world. Kids are sponges and they see everything. And that's your job. Your job is to be a reflection of what they see and experience, validate it, demystify it, give language to it, and not everything has to have a pretty bow on the end. And my kids have seen a child die. So I can't bullshit them about anything. And I wouldn't even try, because they've already been through the ultimate devastation and seen that up close. So, you know, they're very sensitive, caring, loving people. I always say my son is a good friend. He's not a sucker, he's not a pushover, but he is a good friend. He really loves his friends. Every friendship relationship that he has is intentional, and he deeply cares about those people. And it warms my heart. It really, really, really does, that he has those kinds of relationships. Makes me so happy. So, so happy. I honestly am. I really am. They're amazing people. They really are, and, I was a young parent, you know what I mean? So, when my son died, the boys were, like, back to back. So, I remember when my son died, he died 2 days before my other son's birthday. So, we had to do that, and then we had to have a birthday party. Had to. We were not gonna not have a birthday party. And I remember thinking to myself, like, "I need this to not be the thing that destroys my son's life. I need this to not be the thing that destroys my son's life." And another mother who lost a child to violence, but, um, totally unrelated to this, I was having a conversation with her, and one of the things that she lost a child to violence, and she had 2 other children. And, one of the things that she told me that she did was she sat down her children and told them that they had a responsibility to have a full, healthy, and happy life without their brother being here in his body on the planet, and that they all had a responsibility to do that, and that she had a part in that, and that they had a part in that. And I basically did my own version of that age appropriately more than one time with my kids after their brother died, because I just remember thinking to myself, like, I don't know what I will do if my living son doesn't have a happy and fulfilled life because his brother is not physically here. Like, I will feel like it's a cursing in some kind of way. And that was before he told me that their relationship continued after death. So, me being a parent of like, "What about this, and what if this happens, and what if that happens?" Meanwhile, they have their own relationship to this day, and that's not what happened at all. And that's not down to me because I was a mess. I was a mess for 7 solid years. I was more present, but I was a mess. I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't really think about it. It was too much. Um, but I had a wonderful family around me, and my kids had a wonderful family around them too that loved on them and continued to live life and experience joy. And I think that definitely helped, especially when I couldn't experience joy. They could. So, for that, I am proud. Definitely was not a perfect parent. Got better over the years. Very much sucked at the beginning of it. Very much sucked at the beginning of it. And, the reality is you can't undo the things that you really sucked at. You just know that you did. And I'm ever so grateful that I had people around me that loved me enough to tell me when I wasn't doing a good job and why. And I'm very lucky that I could be honest with myself, and say that, like, I can't have these kids and also do this other thing that takes me away from them for 14 hours a day. I can't do that anymore. I have to be present. And that became my focus, presence. Sometimes it was great, sometimes it was terrible, but yeah, that became my number 1 priority was presence. And I don't know if I would have had that recognition, quite honest to God, if I hadn't lost a child. I probably would have been like, "Yeah, they're alright," you know? Honestly, honestly. It one day to the next, I was like, "I quit. This is now my priority of presence." So, you'll be alright. She gonna drag you around for a little bit. You'll be alright. You'll be alright, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a privilege to be able to do that, and you learn it as you go. You learn what it means to be present, you know? And when to lean into that and when to just hang back and, like, watch and observe. And, yeah, I think that if you are cultivating a relationship where your kid comes home or comes into the room and is talking to you, that's it. That's it. I remember my son telling one of his friends, "My mom is on my team. My mom is on my team. I care about" I chose to care about his happiness above, you know, the social traditional norms of, like, what my son was heavily recruited, even down to, universities that feed into the CIA and Skunk Works and all that shit, was heavily recruited for engineering and wanted to be an engineer his whole life. Had visionary thoughts as a child where I knew it was, abnormal. Um, and then right before he graduated from high school, he came to me and said, "I don't think I will be happy if I take that path." And I said, "Okay." And he was shaking. His voice was trembling when he told me, "This is what we've been working towards. This is why you went to the school that you went for. Everybody in your family has been like, 'Oh my gosh, just wait. Wait until this one becomes an engineer. Just wait, you know? It's gonna revolutionize and da 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 blah blah." And he said, "I don't think that my soul will be fulfilled. And I will really be able to say that I'm happy if I do that." And I remember in my mind, like, talking to myself and, like, trying to figure out what I was gonna what exact sentence I was gonna say to let him know, "I fully support you." Spoiler alert, I did not fully support this decision. I was completely terrified, but the words that came out of my mouth were, "It's your life. It's your life, and I want you to be happy, and you are solely responsible for your joy." So I don't really have anything to say other than I honor that. And then I did a bunch of thank you for like, just double down because then, because now we're starting a whole new conversation. So I gotta double down on when did you thank you for telling me. When did you first start thinking about this? What are you thinking that you wanna do? What does bring you joy? And it was a several years long, this was right before I graduated from high school, but the process after that was several years. It was a process. 'Cause then all of his friends went to college, and he took a different path. And so there were times where he longed for that because they were all going through it, and they were all going through it together at the same time. And I know there were times where he was leaning towards wondering if he had done the right thing or not done the right thing. He definitely did the right thing. He definitely did the right thing. But I am so grateful, and I count every conversation that we had up until that point, because that is a monumental decision to make. It's the first real decision. I mean, you're making decisions in high school and even in middle school that could affect the rest of your life, yes. 9 times out of 10, you're not aware. This is your first fully aware. Fully aware. I become a man the day I graduate. I legally become a man the same day I graduate, and this is my first full-fledged decision about my life that is going to impact the rest of my life. That's a huge decision to make. And I am so grateful that he came to me, because the mere thought of him going to college and potentially having an emotional or mental health crisis because he really didn't wanna be there, because he really hated it, and I know people that has happened to, and so does he, because it's the parents' expectation, that would devastate me. That would devastate me. So, yeah, I feel tremendously lucky that we have that level of relationship. I can't even pronounce some of the universities that sent letters. I can't even pronounce them, but when I looked them up, they were feeders for, black ops. I was like, "Oh, Jesus." Oh, Jesus. So, man, I can't even freaking imagine being a whole man, being a whole black man with a brain and a heart. I just in this world, in this country, which is just completely hostile to your mere existence. I mean, I know what it's like for me, but I just can't even imagine. I know what it's like to witness it. I remember my child going from the age of from everybody thinking he was cute to thinking he was a threat. I remember that. Or she was cute to she was sexy. I remember that. That's not fun years either. Kiki, my mom wanted to kill me when I said I wanted to go to community college and major in English. She said, "You gonna get a job reading books?" Yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, being a parent is hard. It's a journey. It really is your heart outside your body. It sucks. It really does suck. It's almost unbearable, and it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. Anybody who says it gets easier is a liar. I don't care if your kid is married with their own children, it doesn't get any easier. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'm lucky that I have children because they have definitely kept me attached to a more holistic humanity. I think if I hadn't had children, I'd be a prosecuting attorney or a judge. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd live in a house made out of concrete. Yeah, my whole heart would be walled off to the world. Yes. Yes. Separate bedrooms type vibes for sure. No, I think it's bad one way or the other. Having done both and having seen their friends, I think it sucks one way or another. And I think we also don't realize the kind of pressure we put on our kids and where it's really unnecessary, because I thought for a long time, this is when I was really sucked at parenting, um, that my and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, duh, obviously." I thought that my kids' behavior was a reflection about whether or not I was a good parent or not, and that is not true. It's not true. Your active parenting is a reflection of whether or not you're a good parent or not. Your child's behavior is a reflection of how they feel in the moment, especially when we're talking about age. And so what I realized was that, especially for Black children, and people had to hit me to this, but what I realized was what I was actually focused on was perceived obedience of my children by other people. And that is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So if somebody told me that my child was misbehaving, I was not really focused on them. I was focused on the fact that I can say it in this way now. I don't think I had the nuance at the time, but I was focused on the fact that somebody else perceived my child a certain way. Therefore, they must perceive me in a certain way. And both of those things are dangerous. And also, I had to spend a lot of time telling other adults to back up off my children. To also remind them that children have a right to make mistakes and get in trouble and be punished for it. Because I think I told the story on here once, y'all, where my daughter was in kindergarten and she took another girl's barrette, and they called me like she called in a bomb threat. The teacher, an older white woman, was damn near in tears over a purple plastic barrette I had to come up to the school. I'm supposed to whoop my child over this into compliance? Are you crazy? So it was a combination of situations where I was like, "This seems overblown," and then other people, real adults, because I was too young to have children when I did, real adults with parenting experience being like, let's hip you to the power dynamic that is happening here and how you're actually doing harm to your child by just accepting and adopting this perception. And what is that doing to your child? So I had to unlearn that. And I spent a lot of time, even when my kids were in trouble, defending their right to be in trouble, even when they screwed up, defending their right to do that. Because people wanna white people, especially in education systems, wanna come at you with this morality bullshit, and no, this is an age-appropriate fuck up. That's what this is. They didn't bring a weapon to school, nobody got hurt, blah, 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 blah. They told a joke at the teacher's expense in front of the entire class because the teacher is an asshole, and everybody laughed, and the teacher is upset, and now we're sitting here in the principal's office. The teacher is an asshole. What are you gonna do? Write him up? You're not gonna expel him. I'll have your whole last job. Let's keep it proportional and keep it pushing. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. I, of course, told you all about the time that they tried to arrest my baby as a baby, and the principal called me like, the police are here, and then I watched my son run a whole ass game that I didn't even know was a whole ass game until much, much later. But yeah, you just deal with the situations when they come up to the best of your ability. By the time he got to high school, we were both like, so how many days do you have to go to actually they'll let you walk across the stage? Because he had his credits. He had his credits. So what's the minimum requirement? All right, we'll do that. We'll do that. We drove them people crazy because I knew my child's state constitutional rights per education in my fucking sleep. In my sleep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Ocean's 11, motherfucker. That boy, that's one of the best stories I've ever been told. Um, yeah, and like I said, when they would do it, you can hold them proportionally responsible for what it is that they did, and we're all gonna keep it pushing, or or circumstantially, I'm gonna tell you you're full of shit. That's the other thing. So, you know, but just turn around and punish my child for this, that, and the other, so that they'll be more compliant to you in the classroom. It's your job to manage a classroom, not mine. It's not my job to do that. So, it's your job to run the building, not my job. The students are calling the principal by his first name. Oh, Paul? Why? What did Paul do? That sounds like they're upset. Your son seems to say it with extreme vigor. Oh, does he? Is he enjoying it? I'm still coming back to, what did Paul do to piss off the juniors and the seniors that they've started calling him by his first name? What'd he do? What do you expect us to do as parents? There are me and three other parents in the principal's office. First of all, what you say fuck me for? Why we here? Why are we here? And they're like, it's the vice principal. Like, he this is how much of a bitch Paul was. Paul was in the building. Was he in this meeting with us, explaining to us that our kids were calling him by his first name? No, little bitch ass Paul. No, he couldn't look us in our faces and tell us that it hurt his feelings. So we had the vice principal call us to the principal's office to tell us that our kids were calling him Paul. And we literally all looked at each other and we're like, what do you want us to do about it? What do you want us to do about it? What? Is there a policy? Is there a policy? If I don't think there's a policy for that. Oh God. Oh God, that was such a funny meeting. I'm so sorry. Having flashbacks. Oh God, to look to my left and my right and see the same, what is this bullshit here? Expressions on parents' faces. We are sitting in the vice principal's office behind damn near fully grown people who have decided they don't like this motherfucker. And we all unanimously had the same question back. What did Paul do? Oh God. Our kids are friends, so you know what kind of kid I had. You know what kind of friends he had. We all know each other. We all got the same question. What did Paul do? Paul's going to need to talk to the kids about that. Yeah, they're not happy. Paul didn't stay. He left. He didn't stay. Oh, God. Oh God. He was so they really, 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 technically my son went to a public school, technically. But in actuality, it was a charter STEM school that was later absorbed into the public school system. So instead of graduating with 1,100 other people, he graduated with like 28 other people or something like that. And they came up through, the ranks with each other. So by the time they got to senior year, these kids were forged in fire together. Okay. They've been through everything together. That's their school. That is their school. They love it. They have feelings about how it should be run, what the policies and procedures should be for certain things. I'm not bullshitting at all. And they took stands. They took stands on things. And when they decided that Paul was a bitch. It's all STEM, so they're all thinkers. They're all thinkers. They don't destroy property, They don't set a fire, set off the fire. They just showed up one day and with a straight fucking face started calling him Paul. Hey, Paul. How's it going? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you want us to do. You got a problem. You're going to have to win him back. It's going to be a rough last year. He dipped. Paul bounced. Didn't make it. Didn't make it at all. Didn't make it. Mad your job can be done by a handful of teens? Come on, Paul. Come on. Come on, Paul. I've been an administrator for 26 years. Oh, you got lots of experience then. You got lots of experience. I don't know if you've ever lost the room and the room is nothing but black and brown kids, but you're going to have to try and get them back. That was the other thing. This school was nothing but black and brown kids, smart black and brown kids. So you got to really come with something or they are not going to pay you dust. They're not going to pay you dust. They just going to keep it moving with their own policies and procedures for how things should be done, including the special ed kids should not clean up after us or you, teachers, because they don't get paid. That's unpaid labor. We're reporting you to the Department of Labor for using these students and not paying them. Be careful of the beast you unleash in the world. Oh, yeah. Called a press conference. They were not happy. What you mean the special ed kids are cleaning up after us when we have lunch and when y'all have lunch in your little teacher's lounge? Don't we have janitorial services that does that? Spent a whole year on the quietest strike and annoyed these teachers and administrators so thoroughly. It was delicious to watch. Just all subversion. No picket signs, all subversion. It was mwah, mwah. I know they wanted to bounce those kids across the stage at the end of the year. And then to make it even better, I'm just going to finish here and then I'm going to go. But to make it even better, we get to graduation. They have their person, their rep from their class who's going to make the speech on behalf of the graduating class. But they come together. She pulls together a writer's room of seniors basically to write her graduation speech. And the school administration vetoed her speech. And she was like, well, what are they going to do? I already been notified by the state of Washington that I've graduated. So what are they going to do if I read the speech anyway? And she marched her little ass up there. And she read that speech anyway. And all the seniors are just sitting there, just proud, just happy. I'm sitting right by her mom. Her mom is like, we knew. And the expression on the row of administrators when they realized what was happening, they were genuinely so shocked. They couldn't believe that she got up there and read her original speech. And we were all in the audience like, how did they think she was going to read the approved speech only? They really thought, do none of these people have children? What is the matter? The very second you told her, no, and then edited it for her and then handed her back a version and said, this is the approved version that you can read. You thought she was going to read that? She was calling Paul. What makes you think she's going to do that? That girl got up there, read that whole ass speech, and the whole senior class stood up. Nothing they could do. Nothing they could do. She walked across that stage a couple minutes later, got her diploma, was out. You're not going all of a sudden be like, no, you can't have it. Not in this room. Not with these parents. You already know. We were on the his name is Paul brigade. So you're not about to stand up in front of these parents and be like, oh, we're actually not going to give it to her tonight. The fuck you're not. No, no. Everybody went to the banquet, had dinner, you know? They didn't do shit. Be on your child's team. And be on your child's team. Oh, I've dealt with that. I've dealt with teachers that trip. I've dealt with administrators that trip. Principal senior year tried to trip right at graduation point, right towards the end of the year. And I've also been a teacher. So I've seen shitty teachers who just hold stuff all year, vindictive type teachers, hold stuff all year and wait to fuck with you at the most crucial time, which is shitty, but I've seen them do it. They told me they were going to expel my son for wearing a hat, but he had worn it all year. And he had already been way past the warning number already for breaking the dress code. He was wearing the hat in silent protest for the special ed situation. That was his silent protest. I'm gonna wear the hat every day. Same hat. Had a little rainbow and a smiley face on it. And he was getting on their nerves for several other reasons, him again and his whole cohort. So they just picked a thing and they picked the hat. And we're like, this is final warning. Put it in writing to me. I picked up my phone so fast. Also, if you're a teacher or an administrator out there and you tell a kid, I'm about to call your mom, and they're like, oh, could you please put her on speakerphone? You might want to pause, ask a question or two. Think about what it is that you've done to bring yourself to this point. But yeah, I picked up the phone so fast. I was like, are we doing this? I need to know because I will file a court injunction. Are you kidding me? I have everything documented about this fucking hat. You gonna try this and think you gonna prevent my son from walking across that stage? On policy, you will lose your job before the end of the day. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. She didn't say shit about that hat ever again. Ain't no way. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. There would be times, because I've said this before. I told my son about that damn hat. I was like, I better not get another, because I was at work or whatever. I got somebody calling me about this damn hat. They're, email, it's in writing now and da 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 da. I'm like, you better figure it out with this goddamn hat. I don't want these people calling me about this stupid hat. Meanwhile, I'm like, what you gonna do about the hat? But when I'm done with that, I'm like, this hat, I'm sick of you in this hat. And he's Mr. Mom, the policy at the school is, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm sick of these people calling me about this damn hat. But yes, starting out as a parent, aside from what you would consider to be just something flagrant up in your face, I wasn't analyzing situations the way that I should have been. I also didn't have any experience to do that. I also didn't really experience that as a kid. I didn't have somebody doing that for me. So, I had to learn it, and, um, I had to decide, like, what do I care about and what do I not care about, pretty much. What am I gonna get emotional about or in my feelings about or mad about or excited about? beforehand. So physical safety comes first. And then everything after that is negotiable as far as I'm concerned. Physical safety comes first for my child or anybody else. And then everything after that is not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. And yeah, like I said, when my kid would be wrong, hey, be wrong, punish them, whatever, blah 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 blah. But when they're not wrong, I'm going to defend them. When a teacher is doing something that's completely out of pocket, we are going to have a meeting quickly. And I'm going to make sure that my kid knows because they're going to be there. And they'll do a lot of that. Oh, can such and such sit out in the hall? No. They need to actually witness this moment. You bring everybody here when you think they're a problem. You want everybody to sit and talk about what they've observed and what they experienced in class and blah, 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 blah. So they're definitely going to be sitting here in the room as we talk about this person who did something they're not supposed to do. How we rectify it, how we make sure it doesn't happen again. If they owe my child an apology, they gonna give one. I'm going away. I'm here a lot longer, but this was good. This spurned on a lot, boy. I hadn't thought about toddler years. Again, not a time that I would like to go back and to revisit, but everything is a stepping stone to what comes next, and it's hard. I commend you. It's hard. I commend you and your wife. Mostly your wife, but you too. um for even just having the desire to be the best parent that you can be is an important intention to set. And I think that one of the ways that you get there is by breaking what you thought and customizing your thinking per child and your perspective per child and your approach per child, which is exhausting, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. This was a long, long LGB or LBG, excuse me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go find me some food. I tried to get some food earlier and they delivered the whole last wrong thing. And honestly, I just sat here for a long time and pouted about it. And then I got that docket alert. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and break this down. And then I saw the toilet paper video and that sent me spiraling. Throwing things at people on stage is bad. Oh my God, they toilet papered Drake. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.